What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode, and in this episode we're going to be talking about 5 things I hate about my Aprilia RSV4. Now, given the fact that I've had this Aprilia RSV4 for the last 2 years, I'm the only owner. I purchased it in 2022, brand spanking new, with 0 miles. And so I've gotten to know the bike a lot, and I've lived with it long enough to make this video and tell you guys 5 things I hate about it. Alright, so with that being said, let's go ahead and throw on the gloves and get on out of here. Yeah, so I might have 5 things that I hate about this bike, but there's a lot of things that I love about the bike. Mainly, how amazing this thing sounds. It's probably got the best sounding engine in the entire world. Find me another bike that sounds as good as this. Yeah. You're not going to be able to. Well, you know, you do have the inline 4 engines. They do sound really good. I'm not going to deny it. But when it comes to raw V4 sounds, muscular sounds, there's nothing like it. As you can tell, that guy, he just gave me one of these. You get that quite often around here when you're riding this bike. Plus, it's just a muscular motorcycle. It's mean as hell. It's a chest-thumping man's motorcycle. That's what this is. Alright, so as far as the ownership experience is concerned, the first thing I want to talk about is the cost of maintaining the motorcycle, because this is not something that I like about the RSV4. As you can tell, this is a liter bike. The cost to maintain this bike is extremely expensive. First and foremost, the tires on this motorcycle are Diablo Corsa version 3. That's what it comes with. But I think the new versions might come with version 4, which is the latest version. Don't quote me on that. But regardless, each tire on this motorcycle is anywhere between $300 to $400. By the time you pay the guy who changes the front and rear tire for you, you're talking anywhere between $700 to $800 for a brand new set of tires. And we're talking about a brand new set of tires every 3,000 to 4,000 miles, depending on your riding, and of course dependent if you're doing any track days or not. And if you're doing track days, you're probably going to get about 1,000 or 2,000 miles out of the tires, and that's pretty much it. Because as I mentioned it in my previous videos, the RSV4 is not the kind of bike that tires are going to last very long in. Because you're running an 1100cc motorcycle pushing well above 230 horsepower, and the bike is very, very powerful. So if you're doing track days like I have, good luck getting 1,000 or 2,000 miles on these tires. And so expect to pay anywhere between $700 to $800 for a brand new set of tires every 1,000 or 2,000 miles. The second thing I don't like about the RSV4 is that it's very fast. No, I'm just kidding. I love the fact that it's very fast. But the problem with all that speed is that you need to slow this baby down. And as a result of slowing it down from such high speeds, this thing from 135 miles per hour slows down to about 40 miles per hour in mere seconds. And so that uses a lot of the front calipers. And so therefore, to change the front calipers on this motorcycle, which I've done my math, is about $450. Because you can't just change the calipers, you need to do an entire brake service on them, and my local dealership does it for $450. So at least once per year, you're probably going to have to do your brake pads, and it's going to cost you somewhere around $400 to $450. Now, if you're good with tools and motorcycles in general, you can potentially do this yourself and buy a pair of brake pads for about $200 and get to work in your shed or inside your garage. More power to you. But for people like myself who are just not handy with the wrench and motorcycles in general, I'd rather give it to the pros and let them take care of it. Paying the extra $200 is probably worth it for me. I don't want to screw anything up, especially when it comes to brakes. I want the job to get done right. Besides the tires and the brakes, you're going to need to do an oil change every 3 months or every 3,000 miles. At my local dealership, to do an oil change on the bike, which they also include in the price tag, is adjusting your chain and lubing it up and blah blah blah, all that good stuff. So out the door, you're looking to pay somewhere around $280 for an oil change. Once again, you can of course do this yourself. It's not a complicated job. I just rather give it to the pros. Everything that's bike related, I like to give it to the pros and let them take care of it. I just don't trust myself, and I don't know what I'm doing. And I know it's a really, really simple thing, but still, for an extra $100 that it's going to take for the dealers to do it, I'd rather just give it to them. And I know I'm being overcharged, but whatever. So every 3,000 miles, $280. Every 3,000 miles, 4,000 miles, you're looking at $800 for new tires. And then the next thing is the insurance. Insuring this bike is very, very expensive. I'm in my late 40s and I pay somewhere around $1,200–1,300 to insure this bike for the entire year. And if I was half my age, anywhere between 20s and 30s, I think that price would be double or triple, especially if I had a ding in my driving record, which a lot of people do have. So expect insurance to be a whole lot when you purchase this motorcycle if you're not somewhere around my age and you don't have a good driving record. So that's another thing that I wanted to mention in case you were curious to find out about insurance, because this is an 1100, it's got a lot of power, and to insurance companies it's very risky. So when you add all that stuff together, every single year this motorcycle is going to cost you anywhere between $2,000 to $3,000, not only to insure and to also maintain. So that's something you need to think about if you're deciding to purchase an RSV4, because that's what I'm paying at the current moment for tires, for maintenance costs, for insurance, and all that stuff when you add on top of it. And let's not forget, this thing uses a lot of gas. So while we're standing at the red light, the next thing I want to talk about that I don't like about this bike, or I hate about this bike, is the heat. As you can tell right now, I'm in 210 Fahrenheit. And the bike is pretty much sitting here at a red light, and I can feel the heat coming from underneath the motorcycle. So if I continue to sit here, that number is going to jump to 217, and then it's going to continue to creep up all the way to, I don't know, whatever the maximum level is. And then it's probably going to shut off in the end. Thankfully, that's never happened to me here in San Diego. Just went up to 212, because in San Diego, the temperature is usually not that high. But I know people that are living in other states, mainly in Nevada, Texas, Utah, because those type of places in the summer, especially Florida, those type of places in the summer, it gets very hot, it gets very humid, and these kind of motorcycles generally heat up. But you really can't blame the bike, and you can't fault it, because it's a race bike. It always wants to continue to move. But I also understand the consumer's point of view. The consumer's point of view is, you bought a bike, for the 2 to 3 minutes that you sit in traffic, you don't want this thing to overheat. So I completely understand both sides of the story, Aprilia's as well as the consumer point of view. My point of view personally is that, honestly, it shouldn't overheat the way it is. Ducatis, on the other hand, are a lot worse, because those bikes overheat as well, but they don't really shut down in red lights. At least that's been my experience. I don't know about the newer ones, but the ones that I tested out back in 2020, 2021, I never had a problem with those things shutting down on you. The only problem with those motorcycles is that you feel like you're being cooked while you're sitting on top of the bike, because the left and right side panels emit so much heat. But that's the good thing about this bike, is that the heat that's emitted off of the bike, it's really not all intense. But instead, what happens is that the engine gets so hot in this that it continues to creep up, and then you panic and you don't know what to do because you're at a red light. There have been many instances like that. In the back of your mind, you're always nervous that something like that will happen, and eventually it will shut down on you. All right, now we're in number 4 and 5 of the top things that I hate about RSV4 ownership. And that is basically going to be two things that are very related to one another. Number one, it's dealer service, and number two, reliability issues. And oh boy, there are a lot of them. You may or may not have seen my 1-year review of this motorcycle, but in the end, I did talk about its reliability. And quite frankly, it hasn't really been reliable for me. And just recently, I had another issue with the motorcycle, and I will talk extensively about it in the next video to come, because this one's a big one, and I had major headaches dealing with Aprilia as a result of it. But I can tell you this much, dealing with service and dealing with Aprilia has been an absolute nightmare. My local dealership here, before even talking to Aprilia and telling them about the issues that I've had with the bike, they flat out tried to intimidate me that Aprilia is not going to cover it under warranty, because number one, I have a race tune, and number two, I have a pipe on my motorcycle, which has absolutely nothing to do with the issues that I've had on this bike. Once again, I've had a major issue with this bike, and that's something I intend to talk about in the next video. I don't want to spoil it in this video, so you're just gonna have to wait for it. But anyway, it involved Aprilia, and I had to contact Aprilia, and I had to fight with them to get this issue resolved. Finally, it was approved. But anyway, I can tell you this much. Going to the dealer, talking to them, trying to work it out, has been a massive headache. The dealer has not been on my side, not even one bit. They basically told me that Aprilia denied coverage, and I'm gonna have to pay X amount of money with my own pocket in order to get the bike fixed, and it was only denied because I've had those 2 modifications. So not only Aprilia, but the dealer will find any little excuse to make you pay on your own. And I'm not exactly sure what the incentive is for the dealer, because number one, I bought the bike from them. Why would they try to do this to me? Why would they not be on my side and work it out with Aprilia and just flat out tell them that, guys, come on, this has nothing to do with the ECU tune, it has nothing to do with a pipe, just get the guy's bike fixed because this is completely unrelated. So what I did was I contacted AF1's CEO, Ed Cook, and I asked him flat out, does my issue have anything to do with ECU tune or a pipe? And he flat out told me no, it has nothing to do with it. And so I took that email and I sent it directly to Aprilia, and the next thing you know, they approved the charges and I had my bike fixed under warranty. But let me tell you, it was a major freaking headache going through all that trouble, and I don't wish it on my worst enemy, because to pay the kind of money that I would have had to pay to get my issue resolved on a bike that continuously has these type of issues is something that I would not have felt good about. I get their point of view as well. If Aprilia doesn't pay them, they can't get paid, and so therefore it has to come out of my pocket. But there should be some accountability. I bought the motorcycle from them. I've always gone to them for service, so therefore I've been very loyal to them. And therefore, they should be on my side and tell Aprilia straight up that whatever the problem is had nothing to do with the race ECU or a pipe. And they know this because the guy who works there told me on the phone he realizes these issues are pretty common and there's nothing he can do about it, but instead he wants me to talk directly with Aprilia to see if I can convince them to fix it. In the end, Aprilia fixed it, all is well in the world, but still, dealer service frickin' sucks, and dealing with Aprilia is terrible. So if you want one of these motorcycles, keep it absolutely bone stock and be happy with what you have if you don't want any warranty hassles. But I will also mention that I think dealer service is way better in places like Texas, because you have AF1, which is an amazing dealership run by amazing people, and Ed Cook, who is the owner, is the guy that was on my side telling me, yeah, we fix these kind of problems all the time, don't worry about it, blah blah blah. And you know what, he's a nice guy and he was very truthful, and I can see how honest of a dealership he really runs. So that's basically it. I don't know what else to say, but Aprilia ownership does come with a lot of headaches, and as I mentioned before, and the other things that I hate about Aprilia ownership, the cost of ownership is also very expensive. So if you want to deal with all of these things, then Aprilia ownership is definitely for you. But if you don't want to deal with it, I suggest purchasing from another manufacturer. Anyway guys, she is thirsty. As you can tell, I got the little light on over here, and so we gotta fill this baby up. But anyway, to close off on things, I know I've been a Debbie Downer in this video, but the title of this video is 5 Things I Hate About My RSV4. And it's been 2 years, and quite honestly, I just had to be honest with you guys and tell you what's what. There will be a follow-up video to talk about the latest issue I had with the bike that is now resolved, so stay tuned for that episode to come. And then I'm also doing a 2-year review of this bike, so there's going to be a follow-up video to the follow-up video. Anyways, until then, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.